Well, good morning and welcome to the Fire Up Connect webinar. I'm your host, Jim McLaughlin of Effective Action Consulting. We support businesses in improving their performance by developing leadership and communication skills. I'm also a member of Fire Up Connect, the Temecula, California chapter. Fire Up Connect is a networking group with a focus on providing value for the community, leveraging our individual specialties with each other to hold events that support communities that need resources. In May, for example, we held an event called Keeping Our Seniors Safe, and it was we provided resources, information on Medicare, reverse mortgages, long-term care, and even stair lifts and other mobility devices to improve quality of life. Joining me today is one of our fellow members of the chapter, Steve Tempel. We're also anticipating joining us very shortly, Tina Casen, who is a Realtor. And our topic is military benefits and programs available to those in the real estate market to those consumers. Let me tell you a little bit about Steve. Steve is a mortgage consultant, and he owns Vintage Mortgage Professionals. He's been serving our local community since 1993, so he's certainly seen the growth and development and all of the ups and downs in the market throughout all of that's happened since then. So, Steve, let's start by telling me a little bit about, and I'm not a veteran, but I've heard over the years of these things called VA, VA loans or VA and VA benefits, of which that is a part. Can you tell me a little bit and tell us a little bit about what's the difference between a conventional loan, perhaps, or other types of loans, and a VA loan?
Yes, thanks, Jim. So I've been doing VA loans for a long time, working with military personnel, veterans, active duty. And the VA loan is really the best loan out there. It's a true benefit for veterans. And a lot of times the veterans just aren't aware of what's available. They might have heard that there's some lending programs available for them, and it's just the best program. So it's got a lot of great features to it. One is there's no down payment. So typically when you're putting no down payment, the fees are higher, the interest rate's higher. But with the VA loan, it's truly a low interest rate loan, low fees, and the government mandates that it's through the VA program. So one is you can go in with no down payment up to the county limit, and there was a new bill and law passed recently by the president that's going to even remove that lending cap. It looks like by the end of the year. So essentially, you could do 100% financing on $1 million house as a veteran, so it's a true benefit. There's no mortgage insurance, so typically when you're putting low or no down, you're going to pay mortgage insurance one way or another, especially on a conventional loan. FHA, even USDA has a monthly and upfront fee. So on the VA loans, you don't have any monthly fee for mortgage insurance. Very competitive interest rates. Another neat thing is it's very relaxed in the credit requirements. So someone could have a foreclosure in as little as 2 years ago and go back in with a VA loan today, even shorter with extenuating circumstances. There's some limits in closing costs. It's a lifetime benefit. A lot of veterans aren't aware that they can reuse their VA, and they can actually possibly have more than one VA loan at a time. A lot aren't aware of that either. There's no prepayment penalties. And an interesting point is that VA has a very low rate of foreclosure, lower than FHA. Whereas FHA, you have to put at least 3.5% down. So I've had a lot of real estate agents that we work with here in Southern California that would rather take an FHA loan over VA, and it's purely because they don't understand VA. Once we explain it to them and how it's really a better program and it's much easier for veterans to qualify for VA and close than FHA, then they're on board. So sometimes we have to do a little educating with the real estate community.
Yeah, fantastic. Wow, this almost sounds like it's too good to be true. What are some of are there any gotchas or anything? Where do people get tripped up, or where is is there an area that people didn't know about it that they could get tripped up or slow down the process? you see anything like that, or is it really the sweet deal?
No, it's a great program. So some of the things that trip up real estate agents is they're concerned because for the appraisal has to be done by an appraiser that's on the VA panel. Okay, and so I think that comes from in the old days when you could order an appraisal from anybody on most loans. VA always had to be ordered through the VA portal through an approved appraiser on the VA panel. And I think in the old days they thought, well, if we could order it from our own appraiser, we know they're pretty flexible. We know they're good, and we can get this thing through without conditions, maybe at the right value. Honestly, today, after the real estate crash, over a decade ago, that you can't just order appraisals from anybody. It has to go through a panel, through an appraisal management company, and VA has always stood the test of time. And to be on a VA appraisal panel takes years and years and years to get on there. So what you have are highly seasoned, very good appraisers, and typically we almost never have any issues with value because if it doesn't come in at value, then it truly isn't worth that price. One of the neat things with VA appraisal is through something called Tidewater. If the appraiser thinks there might be a concern with value, they're going to let you know in advance and give you 48 hours to get in extra comps to make sure they're considering all appropriate properties. So that's done in advance. You don't have that with any other type of appraisal. Any other type, the appraisal is done, and if you are concerned about value, you have to go back and try to do a rebuttal after the fact, and that's very difficult to do. So I'd say that's probably the biggest area that people have had a hang up in the past is with the appraisal.
Ah, got it. Yeah. You spoke earlier about educating the realtors and providing this information, and then when you were talking about that challenge, I really got it. That when you have to go with someone you're not used to using, or all of us to go down some road we're not used to going down, there's a little bit of fear, right? Because we don't maybe have the sense of control or the sense of familiarity. Maybe that's a gentler way to put it. That makes the job easy, because being going down that road of a real estate transaction is, you don't want anything to come up along the way that could be a challenge there. So providing that education, and Tina jumped on a moment ago, and then something that was going to be a perfect segue into. She might be back. Let's see. I know she's got to get her audio setups. Tina, when you're ready, just chime in, because I really wanted to bring you into this. Tina, I'll give a little introduction for Tina. Tina Casen recently completed serving in the Air Force, and she served there for 33 years, and she's been a realtor for 14. So she has that familiarity, that understanding of what people in the military or veterans have been. She understands their world, right? And she has a great relationship with Steve, and she she can really make that road a lot easier. So if you are in that category, definitely reach out to Tina or Steve. We'll give you their contact information at the end of this broadcast. Tina, are you with us? Are you able to hear me? Are you able to?
I am, but can you see me?
I can't see you yet. There might be a little start video button at the bottom of the screen there.
It says stop video.
Okay. So click on the little up arrow. Pardon me, folks, while we handle this little technical challenge. There's a little up arrow next to the video, and you might have to select a camera if that makes sense. If not, we'll just go with the audio. Okay, well, let's not worry about that, Tina. Steve just told us all about the difference between VA loans and conventional loans and the benefits. And then I followed up with a question about, well, where do people get tripped up, or what might, I said, sounds like it's too good to be true. What might be on the other side of that? And he mentioned, for example, having to use a VA approved appraisers, but it's not that difficult. There's an approved list, and they're very seasoned, so there's really not much to worry about. So transitioning over to your side, what other avenues, or what should a veteran, or even somebody in the the non-veteran world, might they want to know about real estate transactions from your perspective? What comes up for you, and that these people should know, particularly veterans?
Well, it's important to know that the veterans do have a different process. They have different loans. They have specific benefits that are only for military veterans. And the qualifying is different as well. So it's not just like a traditional mortgage loan. As far as working with a realtor, the realtor really needs to have some experience in, helping veterans, because it's a different process altogether. There's different requirements that are going to be required just on the appraisal even, where they wouldn't be required on some of the other traditional loans. And so a realtor really needs to be able to see that before you get into, loving the home and being under contract and then not qualifying. It's just such a disappointing situation. So like you said, I've been in the Air Force. I just retired last year after 33 years. So I know what it's like to PCS or relocate to another base for in layman's terms. I know what it's like, and I know that sometimes you don't have a lot of time to do that. A lot of my clients come and they can only spend 2 days, and then they've got to be here in less than a month. Mm-hmm. And so we really have to work quickly, and we have to make sure that all the dots are dotted, right? Because you don't want to get into something. You don't have the time to make mistakes. Also, a lot of times my clients are actually trying to purchase a home and they're deployed or they're in another country. And if you're not able to work with that situation, then it's really impossible for them to purchase a home. And sometimes they've purchased online and it's just not a good situation. So what I do is I have to take the extra measures. Oftentimes I'll just go into different homes that I send them. They get to pick out. I'll go to the homes myself and I'll call them on a video call or on Skype. And I'll walk them through every room of the home. They'll ask me to check certain things and I'll check it right there with them on the video. And they can be deployed and still purchase a home. A lot of times they'll be deployed and then they won't go back to their base. They'll say, okay, when you're done with your deployment, you're going to go to this new base and your family needs to move there as well. And usually the family has to work to move all by themselves while the military member is deployed. And it just makes it all that much easier for me to get on, have a video conference call, walk them all around. We choose the home, and really they don't have to be there. I can't tell you how many homes I've sold to people who are in Afghanistan, in Iraq, just different places. And that's really what you need to find in a realtor. It's a different situation altogether.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine, being somewhere, purchasing a home, having my family move there before I've even seen it. Right. Like showing up and going, well, and hoping, right. And thanks to technology these days, right. Getting a sense of what it is like even before I've seen it. That's a whole different world. And I can really get a sense of you're a specialist in this area, and you need specialists in these kinds of situations that aren't run of the mill. They're not mainstream, and they're just that time frame. I get now why you're so busy, right? Because you can't wait. You've got to act on these things as they're happening, because people's lifestyles are at risk here. And having to not be able to perform because you don't know how it works. Or you haven't been there yourself, particularly, right? Like that gives you a real sense of it, and I imagine a real connection to the people that you serve.
It's true, it really is, and for me, it really is like helping family, because they're my fellow comrades. I know what they're going through, and I know how difficult it must be to have to move without, it's not sight unseen. I make it so it's not sight unseen. But really, oftentimes they do come sight unseen. I mean, I've had a client come and on Wednesday that had all their truck of all their belongings coming on Friday, and they hadn't even found a home yet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they came from Wisconsin. They needed this home, and all day I showed them like 10 homes in one day. And actually, we got the job done. I had to do all the contracts myself, even though it was somebody else's home. Mm-hmm. Another agent, but I had to do it fast and I had to get them in. And that's that's just what you do for family, right?
Yeah.
And that's who they are. They're my family. We all serve one force, really.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it's a good thing this is such a great place to live, right? You know, it's got that going for it. That makes the transition, I would suspect, a little easier for people.
Right. And we have bases every branch is all around us. Even the bases in San Diego, they want to live in Murrieta or Temecula just because it's more affordable and the homes are larger.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually, I think every Walmart here has a carpool caravan that goes to all the bases.
Oh, wow.
So very good. I don't know if you knew that, but
I did not.
Here actually has incredible. I mean, they just work together for the military, and it's an opportunity.
Fantastic. Steve, anything you'd add to what Tina has been talking about? This must have sparked some things from your own memories and success stories.
Yeah, just from a standpoint of it's real critical and important that you have a team, that you work together. So, you've got a great lender and a great real estate agent that know how to work together. Sometimes there's some disconnect with, especially when, you're working with somebody out of state, it sometimes gets a little challenging. But I just know local here, what works out great is a local agent, a local lender. When you're putting in offers, with a local lender that's well known and well respected in the community, it's a little bit easier, I think, to get your offer accepted when there's multiple offers going in, because that other listing agent says, you know what, I know this lender's reputation, worked with them before, they close on time, they do what they say they're going to do, and it just makes it a little bit smoother process. But of course, the veteran can work with anyone they want to, any place around the country. And again, what Tina said, sometimes they're remote, so we have to work and use technology, and we do that all the time. Where everything's all pretty much e-signing now, very little documents that need wet signatures. We use video like we're using today to get the word out and communicate back and forth, and I think veterans are used to that, picking up their smartphone and talking to their loved ones at distance now. So I think that's important to have a team of professionals that work closely with everyone to help make it go smoothly.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's start to wrap up. I'm going to give you each an opportunity to include anything that hasn't come up so far that you wanted to mention, or maybe something came up as we were talking. And then I'll also ask you to provide your contact information so that people can find you or reach out to you if the time is now for them to do that. So Tina, why don't you go ahead and start? Just any final closing comments you have, anything you want to add, and also let us know what your contact information is. I
want to add to what Steve was saying. It is imperative. It's not just important. It is imperative that you work with a team, that you all have the same experience for veterans, because there are people who have never done a veteran loan. There are agents who have no idea that they're going to have a different appraisal, right? And so when you have a solid team and you can work together, Steve and I work together really, really well. We've partnered on several different transactions with realtors, and I don't have to worry about Steve messing up or not finding an issue. I never have to worry about that. I don't think he worries about that with me either. We're just both veterans at helping veterans. I do want to give my contact information, and in fact, you can download my mobile business card. If you just text my name in one word, though, Tina Casen, that's TINACASEN, no space between the names, and text that to 85377. Once again, type my name and send the text message to 85377. And that will get you my whole mobile business card. It'll tell you everything about me. I have a saying that I've been saying ever since I became a realtor and I was still in the Air Force, and it's from Air Force to real estate. It's still my honor to serve you. And honestly, it is.
Wow. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. And thank you for joining us, and stick around so we can just say goodbye here at the end. I want to hear from Steve now. Any closing thoughts, and how do we reach you?
Yes. So as Tina mentioned, it's very critical you work with somebody who's experienced with doing VA loans, because there are so many little things that could trip you up if you're not familiar with it. So I've been in this for 2 decades, working with veterans. And every once in a while I run into somebody that's brand new at it, and I end up coaching them and guiding them and helping them along the way so they don't create some issues. So it's real critical. VA loans can go very, very smoothly with somebody who's experienced. There's a lot of little things and extra benefits on VA loans, so feel free, just reach out. Be glad to go over those with you personally. You can reach me through my website, and I'll give you my phone number, 951-695-0905. That's 951-695-0905. I'm in extension 2#. You can also text me that number. Also, my website is vintagemortgageprofessionals.com. So just the way it sounds, vintagemortgageprofessionals.com. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you both. This has been really enlightening for me, and I'm sure everybody else that is following along here as well. And if you do have any questions, please reach out to Steve and Tina, and we'll provide that information. If you're on Facebook, we'll put it in the comment section as well. And I do want to invite you to join us next month at the same time. If you registered for this, you already have that information. We'll also make it available to you then. But our panelists will be Laura Roeder and John Ellero, and they will be talking about basic protections for seniors. So having just come off of this workshop that we did, we want to keep providing information to that community, the senior community, as well. And unfortunately, I can't give you the date because I didn't get it right in front of me before I jumped on here. But it's at the end of next month. It's going to be the last or the fourth Wednesday. That's what I can't remember. But we'll get that information to you. And until then, thank you for joining us. I hope you have found this valuable, and that you will take a step towards making your homeowner dreams come true if you're a veteran, or pass this information along to somebody who is not just a veteran, but also in the active military that may be looking for a new home. Well, thank you.
I have that schedule. It's August 28th. It's the next seminar.
Oh, thank you for having that available. August 28th.
August 28th at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
At 11 Pacific time. Awesome. Thank you for your partnership there, Steve. And if you did register, you are also registered for that, so you will get a reminder coming up on that date, I think a day or two in advance. Okay, well, Steve, thank you. Tina, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week, and be prosperous. And that goes for everybody as well. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.